How's it going? My name is Brent from ENCORE Window Tinting and Paint Protection Film, and today I'd like to go over with you the process that we take to install a pre-cut pattern on the hood of a Tesla Model 3. So what we're going to do first here is wet down the hood and then squeegee off all the excess soapy water, and what this is going to do is get us a nice clean hood to install the paint protection on. We've already taken the time to wash the car, clay bar it, and then prep all of the edges with a undiluted rubbing alcohol solution. So let's go ahead and grab this pattern and get it laid out on the hood. Now it's important when you grab your pattern to make sure that you keep the hood really wet with the soapy water as well as the adhesive on the material so you don't get any parts of the film tacking when you lay it on there. We want to go ahead and move it around and position it into place so you've got about the same amount hanging off all the way around the hood. And then we're going to spray some rubbing alcohol underneath the material on the top corner there and then squeegee that out. The rubbing alcohol is just going to help the adhesive be a bit more aggressive and tack really quickly. With this pattern on this hood, it's fairly flat, but what we're going to do is tack all four corners of it, and then we'll squeegee out the rest of the soapy water. So once again, I've added some rubbing alcohol there, and we're going to tack that corner down, and then we're going to move to the front two corners. So if you could see here in this front corner, there's a little relief cut in the material. And what we want to do is stretch that a little bit towards us so that relief cut will not be visible on the top or on the edge. We only want that relief cut to be visible underneath the hood. All right, now that we've got all four corners tacked down, we're going to go ahead and mist the material so that the squeegee will move across it really well and squeegee out the rest of the soapy water that's underneath the material. So you definitely want to make sure that you overlap a lot with your squeegee strokes, and what that's going to do is help ensure that you don't leave any water bubbles or air pockets behind, as they're much more difficult to get out after a few minutes of drying than they are to squeegee out right now. Also, we want to make sure that when we're squeegeeing this water out, that we don't squeegee through one of the corners that we've already tacked down, because the adhesive has already started to cure there, and we used rubbing alcohol mixture to tack that down. It tacks down really fast, and pulling any moisture through that area will definitely affect the adhesive appearance wise, and that'll be noticeable in the finished product. So right there you saw that I just lifted up the film a little bit on that edge, and that was because there's an air pocket underneath the material, in between the hood and the material. And we want to make sure that that didn't stick down a little, so that when we're squeegeeing the water out through that area, we don't have an area that's stuck that we then fold the material over on top of itself. It just eliminates that from being an issue. Right here on the edge, there was a little bit of water, soapy water, that was running back underneath the material. So if you get some areas like that, it's best just to lift them up, spray a little bit of the rubbing alcohol in there, and then squeegee those right back out. Once we've got the whole hood tacked down, we're going to go ahead and go around the entire edge with the rubbing alcohol and spray that edge out. And what that's going to do is eliminate all of the soap that was in that edge, as well as add the rubbing alcohol to that edge so that we can do our pre-wrap here. The advantage to pre-wrapping the edges is that it helps eliminate silvering on the very edge of the material around the hood, and also helps keep you from leaving any tiny air pockets on the very edge because you've already wrapped over the edge and down. So the only part where you could potentially, when you're finishing wrapping, leaving a little silver line or a little tiny air pocket will be under the hood, which is definitely not as big of a deal as leaving it right out in the open where somebody could see it. I apologize for the camera losing its focus there. I think I might have gotten something on the lens during this install that made it kind of wig out. So once we're finished up with this pre-wrap all the way around, we'll go ahead and let the material dry for a bit before we finish wrapping it underneath the hood. The other thing that we're going to do is trim probably a 1/4 inch or so off of the edge of this material so that we're not wrapping so much. You normally want somewhere between 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch hanging over that you can then wrap underneath the hood. I am going to go ahead and do a separate video on how to finish the hood past this point, and basically how to finish all edges on your paint protection film with the final wrapping and then the heat sealing. It's not worth putting it on the end of every single video because it's going to be extremely repetitive if you're taking a look at any more than one of these videos. That'll be coming up or coming out real soon. Again, my name is Brent from Encore Window Tinting. I appreciate you taking a look at this install. I hope that you learned something from it, and we hope to see you on the next one.